Hey, what's up everyone? We have another tutorial for you here today. I ran into this quite recently. Probably shouldn't have taken me as long as it did, but not actually to do, but actually to figure out, oh, that's how it works, and that's the reason why I'm making this tutorial right now, because, like I said, it's very simple enough that I should have gotten it years ago, but I never really had something that I'm like, I'm willing to risk this for it. But after I got it all done, it was like, I should probably make a video about this for anyone who's like daunted by what we're about to do. This is I think it's a 2014-2015 Toshiba laptop. It's after they started the it's like the UEFI stuff, because you can see here it has Windows 8.1. Sorry, I can't talk right now. We're going to get that out of the way. I can't talk right now. It is 5 something in the morning, 6 something in the morning. Just got off work, but I'm like, we're going to do this video. So there's that. Windows 8.1, and it was after they decided to stop using the compartments back here, because if you get a computer that's a little bit older, you'll notice they have compartments, like places cut out. You undo one screw or maybe 2 screws, and it'll let you take out a panel. It'll have like the RAM and the storage drive or whatnot, and these don't have that. These are the ones that you take off the entire back panel. And like I said, some people, it might sound a little like, oh no, I don't want to mess anything up. I don't want to have to take my whole computer apart. And then I'm like, this thing has definitely seen its better days, and I don't really use it that much anyway. And I actually had to do this for a family member of mine who has a similar Toshiba laptop, so we're like, well, okay, we'll just test it with this one and see how it works. And on both of them it worked fantastic. I was actually surprised at how easy it was, so we'll just go ahead and jump into it. First thing we want to do, obviously, the 2 screws here that hold the battery in place. You want to undo that, and I'm going to actually open it a little bit here, and just enough to where you can reach the power button. Don't worry about the crack that showed up in the video, because like I said, this thing's seen its better days. It has been out of commission for some time. The screen got like cracked on the side because because the screen was actually really thin. You can see it's like 3/4 of an inch, I think. Anyway, very thin. Not that great for durability, but as I've had it for a while now. It's been like 4 years maybe. Anyway, after we get that done, you power cycle it just to make sure that all of the residual electricity that may have been in the computer from whatever last time it started up is out of there. And it's pretty much the same thing you do with your desktop. You unplug the power, you flip the switch on the back, and you press the power button a few times to make sure all of that's out of there. After you do that, you're going to need a screwdriver. I recommend one with a magnetized tip, because some of these holes are a little bit deep, and if you don't have one with a magnetized tip, you're probably going to have to flip it over and like give it a pat on the back to get the screws to come out. But it really shouldn't be that hard. After you do that, I've already taken most of these out, but what I normally tend to do is place tension on the top with your non-dominant hand, and with your dominant hand just twist until you hear the screw go back down into it a little bit, because after it goes all the way up through the spiral, it'll go to the point where it's the top, and then you'll hear it go back down a little bit. It'll make kind of like a sound like that, and then you'll know it's come all the way out. And if you have one with a magnetized tip, you can just lift it out and that'll be good. But if you don't have access to that, it's not actually necessary. Just like I said, you have to like turn it over and shake it to make the screw come out. After you do that, then on this particular model, or not this particular model, on this particular manufacturer, Toshiba, they have these snap-in points right here where the battery is. They have a point right there and a point right there. And I'm not sure if this is the way with it is like all manufacturers across the board, but all the ones that I've had the occasion to take apart, it's been this way. So after you get all the screws out, then you're going to need to find some way to get in here. You'll already have a little bit of give from the screws right here, and yeah, it's a little hard at first depending on which one it is. Like even different Toshiba computers, like the other one that I had done previously, it was much easier than this one, but like I said, it's one that I had to do for a family member, and they already have their computer back now because I finished what they wanted me to do with it. And yeah, now I'm stuck with my old junky one now. Like maybe I should have thought about doing a video before I gave theirs back to them, but oh well. There we go. You just kind of have to pry at it a little bit, and there the other side comes off, and after that it'll be snapped in all along the side. You want to make sure that as you're unsnapping it that you mind the grill right here. Like I said, this computer is very thin, and it's made of plastic. It's made of plastic so it can snap in and out and everything like that, but make sure that you're gentle with the plastic, because if you get the really thin plastic right here, you might pop one of the grill. I'm not really sure what to call it. It's the thin pieces that make up the grill that are for the CPU and GPU cooler if your laptop has one. And after we get through that, we need to make a disclaimer here. Anything you do up to this point and beyond this point, I have no responsibility for. You do this at your own risk, and yada yada yada, all that stuff. So now that we got that out of the way, you have the fan, the storage drive, the disk drive if your computer still has one, and you have the RAM there. We can take this and push these up. Take the RAM out, put some new in there. We can take this and take the solid state. This one actually came with a hard drive, and I had a spare solid state lying around, so I'm like, I wonder how fast this computer would be if we could put a solid state in it. And this one and the others that I worked with came with this little, it's like, I think it's plastic, might be like a plastic metal alloy kind of. Anyway, it'll be in the rough shape of the hard drive or solid state, whatever came with it, and there will be little holes right here where the screws would normally go in right there. So if you are going to take your hard drive out and maybe clone it and do something with that, then you want to make sure that you have it aligned with the holes properly and put that back on there. Then it goes out just the same way as it came in. And these are actually really built towards like shock proofing, because it's a laptop, it's meant to be a little bit mobile, but after you get to that part, then yeah, don't put it in. No, don't put it back on upside down like I just did. Put it on right side up. And for this particular one, you'll notice because it was on this side before, and that little not retention. It's the piece on the side to make sure that the drive doesn't slide out of the SATA socket. Because I tried doing that one time. Didn't use the I either didn't use it, or it didn't come with one, and it was just a hard drive. So the solid state was thinner than the hard drive, and either it didn't come with it, or I decided not to use it. It's been a really long time ago, though, so I've learned my lesson since then. But you want this little thing here on the side to keep it from moving around, because after extended use, this will tend to slide out, and if you slide this out, then you'll have the the BIOS saying that it doesn't have any detected boot drive. So after that very, very long story, you can do that. I'm not really sure what you need to do with these. A lot of computers now don't even come with disk drives. Like I said, I've had this one for a while. You can see the wireless card. There might be a wireless card built into here, but this is also the Ethernet port and the USB, so that's connected through the ribbon cable over there. And some people, depending on what they like to do, they like to take this apart and take this heat spreader off, clean it with isopropyl alcohol, like I think at least 70%. They have like little wipes you can get for them, like little alcohol wipes. You wipe that down, basically the same thing you could do with a desktop, and you put fresh thermal paste on there, and sometimes that can help your temps on that. But I wouldn't really recommend it for this particular one because it can barely handle gaming with its integrated AMD R5 chip anyway. It's better than nothing, but if you have any way to get anything better, I would recommend you do that. Anyway, that's how you take it apart. You already upgraded everything that you want to upgrade on here. Whatever you want to do with it is basically the same thing that you did to get it off, but in reverse. So it came up this way coming on, so the places down here on the bottom where it needs to hook into, you just kind of want to slide it in there. It'll probably be flush with the bottom of the computer, and you just kind of want to press it along the edges, and you'll hear those snapping sounds. And of course, you want to press it up here, make sure that these snap in properly. If you don't really need to, and you plan on like using this as a test one, like I haven't put the screws back in this one yet. It's been like this for, I don't like carry it anywhere, I don't do anything with it. It snaps together so well you have to actually try to get it unsnapped again. So it's snapped in here very pretty well, and actually the thing that got me at first is it snaps in so well on the side you can almost barely tell that there is a seam there, like where it actually comes apart. So I'm like, I don't know how to take this thing apart. I don't want to have to like rip off the keyboard or something. Like, yeah, it was a while ago. Anyway, that's how you do it. This helped you. Make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications for new videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.